The most powerful force on earth is a human soul on fire. You have a deep ache in your soul for something more, to come alive, to let your passion pour from you like an endless well. When your passion comes alive, the magnificence buried deep inside of you is unleashed. Gifts and talents you never realized surface as your life unfolds like poetry. You can do hard things. I can show you how. This is Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching, where I teach you how to heal yourself from the inside out. Hey everyone, welcome back to Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching. This is Erin. So today's podcast, and actually the next 12, I'm going to be going over each of the topics that I cover in my coaching course. My idea with this is that I can help the most people possible, and you can get a sampling of exactly what I teach in my course. So I hope that you enjoy these next 12 podcasts because they're really for you. My idea with creating these tools was that, there's only one of me, and these are the tools that I use with myself and with my clients. So if I can record it, if I can get it on video, if I can find a way to share it with people, then they can use these tools to find greater peace in their lives, solve deep mysteries within themselves, and connect to themselves and their community. So I hope that you enjoy, and let me know if you have any feedback. You can email me, Erin at erincoach.com, and enjoy. Welcome back to Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching. This is Erin. So this episode is kind of a bonus episode that I'm recording on a Friday night. I just left Thrive Yoga and Fitness, my beloved studio and spiritual center, and Matt was lecturing on the yoga asana and where they've come from in yoga philosophy and sort of their origin so that our students can connect better to the poses. For example, he was going over warrior poses and how it was reminiscent of Shiva striking down on Dakshan, King Dakshan, after Sati, was upset and sort of prostrated herself, and Dakshan didn't want Sati to marry Shiva because, he just kind of walks in a loincloth and dreads in his hair and smelling like God knows what, covered in ash and drinking bong water. So the way that Matt tells these stories is it's really awesome. He's come so far as a teacher, as a philosopher, and really integrated in a way that the students just adore Friday nights with him in our training. And while I was at the studio, I happened to open the mailbox and I got a letter from Adam. Hello, Adam. And he updated me on all of his wonderful happenings in the facility. And I even got a copy of his mind and meditation certificate, which I will hang on the refrigerator. I know it's hard, but it looks like you don't have too much longer to go. So, and just some of the breakthroughs that you've been having. I'm so happy that my podcast is helping you. Thank you for the subscribers. And hey, if you hear this, maybe those 200 subscribers can leave a review. But seriously, it's so humbling to know that I'm helping people all over the world and, people I've never met. It's really I love hearing from everyone. And thank you for the drawings. I have a lot of them hanging up in Thrive too. Another thing I wanted to talk about just on this Friday night, as far as I'm going through my gratitudes, is I went to one of my students' premiere of a movie that he was in. It was like a skiing, snowboarding movie called Stomping Grounds. And my student's name is Jay Raw, and he went through my training, I think 4 years ago. And before he went through my training, he was in a dark place. He had a parachute accident and crushed, I think, 4 or 5 of his vertebrae. to where he was like permanently damaged as far as like his gait is changed and he doesn't get sensation down into like flexing his foot. And so I worked with him for a year doing the yoga version of physical therapy, which honestly, if you look at a physical therapy sheet, I'm like yoga pose, yoga asana. So a lot of it's yoga anyway. So without the title physical therapist, we did yoga type therapy. And he started getting some different sensations in his body. And then I asked him so many times, when are you going to join teacher training? When are you going to join teacher training? And the third time I asked him, I was like, hey, what do you got going on this summer? And he was like, well, I don't really know. I was like, oh, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I don't think we have much going on. I was like, then you can do my training. And he did. And, I went to the showing of his movie where he's doing incredible things on a monoski, like flipping and twisting. And I was so proud. And Jay is an amazing person with like the best attitude. Maybe he'll be on my podcast. I asked him. I think he's got the spunk to do it, but I'll follow up with him on that. And he told me that it wouldn't have been possible without me, that I got all this started. And I've had a lot of that lately, just people thanking me for being there for them, whether it's just with my voice or with my presence. In my trainings and certifications, I am with you. I am like running alongside you, like huffing and puffing, like Mickey and Rocky, except for maybe a slightly more attractive Mickey with a better voice. Like a spiritual Mickey, though. It's very humbling to be in this position that I'm in, and my studio is moving in a different direction. I'm hopeful about it like really full on becoming like a full-fledged spiritual center, and I'm having talks with a reverend and things are just falling into place, and I just got coached on it, and it's like the universe is opening up and saying, yes, this is the next direction for your studio to grow with you. So I wanted to record this little bonus episode just because I was like, I have to get this out. My heart is exploding. In a good way. And I'm just so fucking grateful. I've done a lot of work to travel through my darkness, and I made contact with this inner knowing a long time ago, and I touched it in a way that I never wanted to let it go. And I'm able to see that in others. And I think that they know that, and so they come to me. And I guess as a teacher, another thing that I can really do for people is I am firm. I give tough love. And I can give tough love because I trust that you're strong enough to be able to handle it, and that you're courageous enough to face what you need to face and to go into the place that we both know exists. And so when I look in your eyes, I see that. I know that that place exists, and there's no doubt in my mind. And the only thing blocking you from it is the patterns of your mind. Still the chittavrittis and taratrashtu swarupe vashtanam. Got the first 3 Yoga Sutras tattooed on my body because I quote them all the damn time. But it is so true. It is so true. And I feel blessed and grateful to be a mentor for strong people. Not just anyone. I like to be a mentor for leaders, for people that want to serve others. And I guess I have a way about me that sometimes, strong leaders, we have our doubts, or we I don't know if I should do this. And I can't tell you, if I had a nickel for every time I had people come up to me either, right before training starts or midway through or quarter way and say, oh gosh, what was I thinking? I can't do this. And then I look at them and I'm like, yes, you can. And I will draw them back into themselves. And then they'll be like, you're right. You're so right. So it's, I guess kind of a mission, a dharma, a spiritual duty to help people remember who they are. And certainly I like to be around people who remind me who I am, because I can forget. reading spiritual scripture daily, it really certainly helps you remember who you are. This space of home that you touch daily. Meditation, I do daily meditation, and that just helps me to touch that space inside of me and remember who I am. And because I need to help others remember their light, and that is one of the most important things in my life. And lucky me, I have an amazing partner that's just amazingly intelligent, has a very, very special brain to where when he lectures, it's just like, it's incredible. And the way he can cross-reference like different stories, you'd think that he had an encyclopedia like as a brain, but I know better. I know that he's a goofball most of the time. So this is just a little bonus podcast episode of my musings and my gratitudes for people in my life. My sister left me a message that I don't think I'll ever delete of, I have my daughter back. Thank you. Like, she saw hope, in some of the things that we did together with helping mental and emotional health for my family. So I'm grateful to be of service. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Thank you so much for sharing it with people. It helps more people than you think, because it definitely helps more people than I know. And I've been doing it over 6 years, and sometimes I feel like, gosh, I'm running out of things to talk about. Like I talk about the same shit all the time, but I feel like universal truths are like epic novels. It's like you can read them over and over and over again, and you always get another piece of information. And I feel so grateful that I can be a vessel for that. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you have a wonderful holiday. It can be wonderful to just stop for a moment and think about the impact that you've had in people's lives. It can be really powerful for you. I know it is for me. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you so much for listening. If you want to support the podcast and if it's helping you, please consider writing a review. You can go to iTunes or Google Play, go into the search bar and type in Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching, scroll down, and you can leave a review. This helps other people to find me, as well as bumps us up in the search ratings. Also, this podcast is sponsor-free, so that means we don't receive anything for doing it. If you feel so inclined and this podcast is helping to support you and you want to return the favor and help to support any production costs of the podcast, feel free to give a donation to a Venmo link, Thrive Yoga Fit, or PayPal, Erin@erincoach.com. If you don't have the means, don't worry about it. We're not going anywhere. You're all good. But if you would like to give back, you can give back in those ways. Last thing, we have a coaching certification coming up, and it's 7 days of an intensive work, followed by a 3-month mentorship. You will not find another teacher that's more passionate and dedicated than I am to my students and their learning, and not just their learning, but the application and how they show up in their life. If you've been listening to this podcast and it's had a huge impact on your life, just imagine what it would be like to spend 7 intensive days with me and then a 3-month mentorship. You can check that out at thriveyogafit.com/coach-certification. Again, thriveyogafit.com/coach-certification. Thank you so much. Namaste.